uninterrupted. Take two. All right. Everybody, welcome. Thank you for joining us today for our 2022 annual awards banquet and meeting for Georgia ITE. It's a pleasure seeing all of you here, and it's been my pleasure to serve all of y'all as a board member for the past 4 and as an additional capacity for the past few years before that. And after today, I promise you probably don't have to hear me speak for a long time. So but while I've got you, I've got a few bad jokes I'm going to tell while I'm sitting up here. So for any of y'all that were late today, I don't know what y'all were doing. I don't know if y'all heard there was a tractor trailer that overturned full of Vicks Vapor Rub this morning. There was no congestion for 8 hours. All right. But boom. All right. Thank you. No, but for real, this past year's been a little tough. I don't know if y'all know, I had a phobia of speed bumps, but it's okay. I'm slowly going over them now, so we're good. All right, now, for real. That's it. So my bad jokes aside, I want to go ahead and say thank you to our sponsors, our diamond sponsors, and our other sponsors throughout the year. Y'all are the reasons that we can have these wonderful events and be the great organization that we are. So I just want to say thank you to each one of y'all, and we look forward to any of your continuing support next year in this capacity or in another capacity. So can we please get a round of applause for all of our diamond sponsors? Thank you. And then additional sponsors, everyone matters. Thank you so much. We just wanted to say thank you, and we appreciate it, and we look forward to hopefully doing more with y'all next year. An agenda for today, we're going to have our keynote speaker with us. I think it's going to be a great talk for all of us engineers in the room. We're really going to love what we're going to hear today. We're going to have an overview of the 2022 year from Christina Barry as she's going out. We're going to have our mentorship, don't mind that spelling, program graduation, special, and scholarship winners, award announcements, and then the announcement of the 2023 board. So first, I want to go ahead and introduce our keynote speaker for today. I'd like to thank Frank Rucker for joining us. He's the Airport Deputy General Manager of Infrastructure for Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Frank is the Atlanta Deputy General Manager of Infrastructure. He oversees hundreds of Department of Aviation program management and construction management personnel to ensure that all aviation facilities meet or exceed industry standards. He has more than 40 years of experience in civil engineering design and project management, with more than 20 years of progressive experience in the aviation facilities industry, directing sophisticated, sustainable design and construction projects. Mr. Rucker has a rich history with Hartsfield-Jackson, having served as Assistant General Manager for Planning and Development. He also served previously as Director of Engineering, Planning and Development, where he was responsible for implementing the Capital Development Program at ATL. He oversaw construction of ATL's 5th runway, innovative hold baggage screening system, and a magnitude of other complex projects. Prior to his return at Hartsfield-Jackson, Mr. Rucker served as the Chief of Capital Programs, Planning and Innovation at MARTA. There he was responsible for the facilitation and implementation of its capital improvement program and transit expansion initiatives. Prior to MARTA, Mr. Rucker served in the International Division of Jacobs Engineering, managing a multidisciplinary team and pursuing and implementing worldwide aviation capital development programs, including major programs in Singapore, Malaysia, Australia, and Qatar. An Atlanta native, it makes me proud to say that Mr. Rucker received his Bachelor's of Science degree from the Great Institute of Georgia Tech. And in addition, go Bees. He's certified as a PE, Project Management Professional PMP, and is an active manager of ASCE. So please welcome Mr. Frank Rucker. Robinson.
Hello. Hello. Hello, Marshall. Well,
Around?
I mean, just leave right there.
Oh, okay.
Let me just kind of look at what we got.
Yeah.
So I can pull it out?
Yeah.
All right.
Right. You want the station there?
Yeah, I can better with that. So good morning, good afternoon, wherever we are. So thanks for allowing me to come and make a presentation to y'all. So first question, we were up in Athens, a couple of weeks ago? Did you all see the general manager in this presentation? So I don't want to bore you. It's going to be about the same, but it'll be more from a span of engineering versus him talking about overall the airport. And we can kind of talk, since we're a bunch of engineers, we can talk in detail if you like. I can put my hat right here. All right, go ahead. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm sure he talked about the photo, you know, and one of the things we love to talk about is our vision and mission. So I always like to start with that. The airport global leader, airport efficiency and customer service, right? Our mission, one team delivering excellence while connecting our community to the world. I care, integrity, collaboration, accountability, respect, and excellence. All right, so we really focus on being one team at the aviation department, you know, amongst, and it's a pretty distinct community with a lot of different players. So we have to become one team, otherwise we'll be quite segmented. More from a strategic standpoint, we do focus on our 3 pillars: people, purpose, and God, I don't want to forget that, performance. All right, so that really kind of centers us where we are in terms of the capital program. Now I'm going to go into details about this. Before we start, we always focus on diversity. City of Atlanta, you know, City of Atlanta, everywhere I go, the City of Atlanta, I tell them the City of Atlanta leads the nation in terms of diversity. You know, we demand it, you know, we've done it for the last 50 years, so all communities are involved within what we do. So our EBO program is second to none, you know, so we're constantly looking for minorities, female businesses, small businesses. We do DBE, but we do strive to achieve a high level in the 30% percentile range. Sometimes we get to 40, but we are continuously at that mark, and we've been that way for years. A little bit about the slide. Oh, I'm actually talking about that in his slide. You know, we've had numerous programs, and if you all have looked at the evolution of Hartsfield-Jackson from the year 2000, we started what they call the HJDP program. We did about $5.4 billion of work, which was the 5th runway, the international terminal, the rental car facility, as well as a number of different projects. Now, this is, in 2015, we started what we call the ATL Next program. Now, that was negotiated with the new lease. So if you know anything about the airport and how it operates, we have a lease with the airlines. The signatory airlines sign up that they'll support us for a period of time. This new lease is about 20 years. The first one was 30. But in the new lease, executed 2016, we created what we call pre-approved projects. It's about $6 billion of work. So of that $6 billion, we've executed to date about $2.8 billion. And of that $2.8 billion, we see diversity eligible. And so we basically look where, from a market survey, where we have different groups participation-wise. We saw 2.1 of the 2.1, 1.4 went to primes, 34% went to subcontracting communities. So that's about $720 million, and the split of that 720 is kind of illustrated in the pie chart there. Minorities, female businesses, diversity, small businesses. Now, the key thing about the City of Atlanta, any contract over $5 million requires a joint venture. So we are constantly encouraging what I call EBO firms, minorities, you know, female businesses to be part of the prime leadership within a project. So 92 prime contracts with joint ventures, and since that time, now this is just 2015, we've had 294 firms work at the airport associated with the capital project, with capital programs. Pretty good. Key to diversity is outreach. You know, so we constantly are basically at programs which engage the diverse community. All right, so I won't go through all these, but ATL Next Industry Days, Partnering with a Purpose, behind the scenes, contractors roundtables and small business development. You know, we're constantly advertising these initiatives, and we'll continue to work on that. So let's talk about, I'm gonna keep you on time today. All right, so let's talk about completed projects. All right. So this is as of fourth quarter 2022, and this is actually stuff that we completed this year, okay? Now, let's take a look. So we're showing, so I got the T-North 5 Gates extension, what we call Fire Station 32, South complex, de-icing complex, and the in-around taxiway. So I'm gonna talk a little bit in detail of these things. Okay, so Fire Station 32, clockwise from Fire Station 32, the T North 5-gate extension, the 9 left in-around taxiway, and the de-icing facility. And see if I can remember the details. Let's see here. I don't like this. Okay. I wanted to go, I'm sorry, I wanted the presentation I wanted to talk about. Anyway, let's talk about some details here. So the 5-gate extension, so at the airport, you know, we have, this airport is built and we can't really expand unless we go up for another environmental statement, impact statement, but it's 4,700 acres. And we of course, we are the most efficient operation in the world. And in that 4,700 acres, of course, you know, we got 5 parallel runways, right? So we end up repurposing a lot of area, you know, as we basically come up with ways to make us more efficient. So we always looking to add gates. You know, from an airfield standpoint, we feel we pretty much where we need to be to accommodate our loading. But gates are the key. You know, airlines, more airlines want to come and operate there. We got more airfield capacity, but we currently are constrained with our gating capacity. So you constantly asking, airlines are constantly asking, can we get more gates? So we tend to look and see how we can repurpose areas to basically build more gates. Now, what's the price to build a domestic gate versus an international gate? Well, it varies, you know. So it's what you're talking about, including in that cost. So a project like the T North 5-gate extension is probably in the range of $350 million, where there were, I think it was about 170 million of enabling work. So you had to realign the North Terminal Parkway. You had to move a lot of utilities out the way. Had to take parking. You know, parking is revenue. So as always, with a big debate. So how are we going to recapture? Has anybody been out to the airport lately when we started working on that south deck? And so what, you're going to look for your favorite parking space on the south side if you're flying Delta, and all of a sudden it ain't there, right? So anytime you take away parking, you are impacting, you know, a lot of people. You know, trust me, it's a lot of people. So you know, we're constantly evaluating how to better use the space we do have. In this case, the T North 5-gate extension basically provides additional gates to United and American. Very nice project there. If you haven't been there, I would encourage you, you have some time to actually go to T North and see that new offering, because we'll be actually trying to upgrade the facility in what we call the ATL Next, that I'm gonna talk about later, to a standard similar to what we got there. De-icing complex, anybody a concrete paver in here? Anybody design concrete paving? Yeah? No? I thought I was talking to engineers. Y'all gonna talk with me? Anybody know the pavement section? How thick is the concrete in Hartsfield-Jackson for aviation slab? What's that? 25? Pretty close. 20. So we use 20 inches of Portland cement concrete pavement, non-reinforced, 25 by 25 joints. You know, basically, what is that? Let's see, 18. So 36-inch dial bars for load transfer. I think it's 1.5 inch diameter bar. You know, 12 inches on center, and we use a 9-inch section of soil cement, you know, to actually do that. So that becomes, but that South de-icing complex, you know, we have there's over 200,000 square yards of pavement, 200,000 square yards, about a mile of trench drain to catch the spent fluid. We have a collection tanks, 2.5 million gallons. And of course, you know, before we release into the stream, we actually have to do testing, we do mixing dosage, and then once we get approved for release of any captured glycol, we will make sure we got enough dilution there to actually deal with that. The in-around taxiway, we always are looking to improve the efficiency of the airfield. So the in-around taxiway is that one. It's only 2 airports in the United States that have 2 in-around taxiways, and of course, I'm sure everybody's landed and wonder why you don't stop to cross the runway. So you got the outers on the north side, south side. You have an outer, or what I call a center now. So north side, you got an outer and an inner runway, right? So before we start building the in around taxiway, you had to wait to cross the inner runway, which is the takeoff runway. Now you just taxi to the gate. It's a continual stream, so it saves a whole lot of time, whole lot of fuel for the airlines. So basically, you know, it's just continual movement, basically, and more efficient operation, less interaction with the tower. So this right here, we actually had to take about, I think it was. I gotta remember this fact, but it's either 35 or 5,500 parking spaces to build this. So again, repurposing. If you all ever went to the airport back before we started building this thing 2 years ago, you actually park ride lots A, B, and C. So we end up pretty much taking B and A. And I'm pretty sure, like I said, somewhere 35 or 55. Let me get that number right. But there's a lot of parking. All right, okay. So to actually construct that, it's basically complete now. We had a kind of like a groundbreaking or opening a couple of weeks ago. We're still doing some amount of touch-ups, but it should be operational this month. All right. So what do we got in construction now? All right. So again, you know, the plane train extension, switches, domestic parking deck renewal, life safety enhancements, carousels, security checkpoints, and vertical transportation expansion. So basically going around the clock. I need to do this. I'm looking at this thing. All right. So again, start again. We're always looking to enhance the look of the terminal. You know, what's interesting, so I've been there off and on for a long time, you know, so I was just telling Ben, you know, I started in 1982, left in 86, came back in 98, left in 2010, came back in 2015, left in 2017, and basically I came back 21, I guess. You know, so I'm constantly, you know, coming and going. But it's always interesting to look at the wear and tear when you're processing 100 million people a year on a facility, right? You know, so in this case, the ceilings, you know, I replaced the ceilings back in 2003, 2004. It's brand new tile, perforated aluminum tile. And you know, what's interesting, when you go, the next time you're at Hartsfield-Jackson before we put all the new tile up, if you find some old tile, look up and see how dingy and dirty it is. So basically, you know, with the air conditioning system, the pool of air, plenums, you know, just dirt and skin up on those tiles, it is amazing, you know, how dingy they've gotten over the course of years. So this project will replace all the ceiling tiles, upgrade the lighting, upgrade the fire protection, life safety components. We're going to basically add some IT components there too, but it ought to be a pretty good job. North parking deck renewal. Now, what we found out there is we've done studies. What's the life of a parking structure? 40 years? Y'all don't talk much. Come on now. All right. 40, 50 years. So when you basically construct it in an accelerated manner, so back in 1978 when they built these things, you know, so and put them in operation in 80, we're finding that, you know, significant wear and tear associated with that. You know, post-tension standards have gotten better over the course of time, and we do things a lot better than what we did back then. But we saw some deterioration, so we started what we call a renewal project, where we enhancing the compressive strength. You know, so if you've been when you go back on the south side, as you're parking that parking deck, you're gonna start seeing some reinforcements. You know, it's like 7-foot strips all the way across the elevated floors of the third and second level. And that's because that's a rehab that we're doing to actually strengthen those decks. All right, so ultimately it's a temporary fix, because in the next 10 years you'll see us tear down. We're gonna start building what we call the phase 1 deck in South Economy next year, and I'll show you that. And we're gonna build capacity 6,600 spaces in the South Economy. Right, we're gonna take out 18 again. We're gonna build 66, so that kind of compensates for the loss what we had on the end around. And then, as well as, we're gonna start tearing down the inner decks in 3 years. So basically, build a new deck, start tearing down the inner deck south side first, then we're gonna go to north. But to buy us more time, we're doing the reinforcing job, because we anticipate we'll be on the north side probably 6 to 7 years. So it's gonna be a continual, basically, construction. So, how much time we got? I got to be gone. Oh, God, I'm talking too much. All right. So on the T-North vertical circulation, you got an expansion, more vertical circulation. Always needed vertical circulation, moving people from checkpoints down to the train out to the concourses. We got the most modern checkpoint in the country, and we continue. We did that on the south side. If you all Delta priority passengers, you're using that south checkpoint. Now we're moving all that new technology into the main checkpoint. So that process will take about 18 months. You see it be open 24. Parking deck renewal, we talked about that. The plane train tunnel will add about 20% capacity, and all we had to do, Marcia, is move a switch. So basically to move the switch, you had to basically build 700 feet of tunnel in pretty much solid granite. So basically, the tunneling underneath the terminal. All right. Y'all don't give me enough time. All right. Okay, so where are we going? So over the course of the last year,
I'm not sure I understand.
we asked you to do it. All right. So over the course of the next year, so when I got back a year and a half ago, the airlines said we want to basically expand the program, right? So again, $6 billion was negotiated with the lease in 2015-16. We see no other projects we got to do. Let's go ahead and basically right-size the program. So we eventually evolved into a $12.1 billion program, which is going to go, we got through the year 42. Now, what I told them, with programs of this magnitude, there's always something new, they change. So every 5 years, that's like a refreshing of the program. So let's just take the first 3 years of this thing. So beginning with fiscal year 23, let's decide what we're going to basically build for the next 3 years, and let's make sure we NTP, whether it be design or construction, and let's get these things started. So, and that's what you're illustrating in the green. So the airlines, as you go through a financing strategy, you have what you call a majority interest ballot, and they have the signatory airlines are signed on. So we're in favor of these projects, and we're going to go. So while we have a $12.1 billion program, we now have been approved, and everybody, I say, approved to basically build from the airlines of $7.8 billion. And you can see now we're talking about, I call it the tsunami, back to that term again, Marshall, but this is real. So if you think it's crowded with construction at the airport now, just give me a minute. All right, because we're finna really ramp this thing up where we've never done over 450 a year, $500 million of work completed out the door at Hartsfield-Jackson through all those programs we did, right? Now we're doing, this year we did 625, so I'm gonna say calendar year 22. Next year, our target is to be within the fiscal year somewhere around 800 million, and you see the peaks. That curve is at we got $1 billion of work scheduled, and of course, the sky blue line. I just said, well, okay, we won't be able to complete all that, but it's a wave of 800 million per year for the next 10 years that's coming out. So it's a continual refreshing of the existing facility. Okay, I think right now we're planning on basically executing 180 projects at the facility within the next 3 years, and you can see where it's all throughout the facility. Domestic terminal concourses, we're gonna redo D, and I'll talk quickly about that. Concourse E, parking, the train tunnel, always doing work on the airfield. We got support facilities and renewal replacement, which really goes back to the domestic terminal CP. So doing business, when I came back, I told people we need to get a better way to do work. All right. So, fortunately, City Council, the mayor has signed off on us taking some very progressive means to do work. So not only do we do design builds, we do some at risk for major vertical works. We did a progressive design build on the train tunnel. We got on-call AE services, large and small. We do managing general contractors, and we just recently basically finalizing the contracts on what we call our on-call CMR. So that allows me to write tasks for various construction work. So and that's going to be a big saver because now I can move some projects within the limits that we specify. Vendor registration, I'm sure all y'all are registered with the city of Atlanta. I don't even have to ask that question, because there's a lot of work associated with that. A lot of work coming up with the central passenger terminal complex and support facilities. Upcoming solicitations. This is mostly engineers here. So, I actually plan on probably going and hitting the street for respective projects to do some more work from an architectural, mechanical, civil standpoint, so y'all stand by. Concourse D is gonna be an interesting thing. It's in pre-construction. We're gonna basically expand the concourse under operations. So they're gonna restrict us to basically taking no more than 8 gates at any one time. And, that's gonna be quite a maze of activities, about a 5.5, 6-year project to do. $1.4 billion is anticipated to do this. But when we finish, it's gonna be something spectacular. All right, I guarantee you that. All right. CMR outreach, okay. We don't need that. Oh, so this is just a listing of all the projects we're gonna do, in the coming 3 years. So like I say, by the end of calendar year 24, we'll be working on the stuff. All right. So all these solicitations will have to take place. So Chris, I got 2 minutes for any questions. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right.
Well, as everyone here knows, any good part for a good award show involves some cameos. So we're about to have some surprise speakers that you don't see here on your agenda come up and make some announcements. We're going to go ahead and get started with the biggest smile and the happiest person you'll meet at Georgia IT, and she's already laughing. Over. We're going to get Bing up here. She's got a quick announcement to make. Robinson.
Hello, friends. Okay, so my announcement is about summer seminar. It is coming up July 16th through 19th, St. Simon's Island. If you haven't gone and booked a room in the block, there's only a few more rooms left for Saturday night. So go ahead and do that as soon as you can. If you guys are interested in participating on the technical committee, Alex Simmons, hello, is going to be the technical committee chair this year. So if you haven't been on the committee before, go ahead and reach out to him. He'll hang out a little bit after the meeting to, shake hands and smile. And then if you guys have any other questions or want to help in any way for the conference, feel free to just let me know. We're super excited. And the first technical program meeting is going to be in January.
And now this next gentleman is one we all know and love. He's been around for a while. France Campbell. Oh, sorry, Jody Peace.
Thanks, Chris. So summer seminar, a great event. However, we want to, Georgia is hosting the Southern District annual meeting this year. And so we want to bring all the fun and quality program that we're all used to with summer seminar to the Southern District. It's going to be in March 19th through the 22nd, I believe it is, in Savannah. And just a couple of quick things. Sponsorship is open. There should be a flyer on each one of the tables. If your company is interested in sponsoring, or if you even think you might be interested, we'd love to talk with you. Kelly Patrick is leading up a lot of that effort, so you can go see Kelly today. If you brought your checkbook, we'll take your check today. The second thing is abstracts. The call for abstracts is open. It ends on Friday, next Friday, the 16th. So get those abstracts submitted. I think the Georgia ITE webpage has the link. You can also see Scott Zingraf. Scott's leading up the technical program. So you can, if you got your idea, you can take that to him today. Registration is going to open soon, so be watching for that. And also, if you are interested in volunteering, we do need some more volunteers to help in a variety of ways. So you can see Kelly Mears or myself, and we'll get you plugged in and put you to work for sure. Thanks.
Thank you, Jody and Bing. So please pay attention. There's more surprises maybe on the way, and you don't want to miss any exciting things happening. All right, but next, we're going to hear from our wonderful President, Christina Barry. She's going to come up here and give us a review of 2022. So, Christina.
All right, I'm gonna give a review of 2022. We had a great year. It was our first year totally back in person after the pandemic, so that's a pretty big thing, and we're excited about that. Our current membership totals, we have 469 members, which is up 8% from this time last year. It's about 60% private sector, 32% public sector. You can see the numbers on the slide. And we also have a lot of university students and professors. And some of them are here with us today. So we're excited about that. And then we have 3 retired members, and then over 1,000 friends of Georgia ITE. And I would remind you to let your friends know if you have any colleagues that are interested in Georgia ITE, but maybe aren't ready to commit to joining international. Anybody can sign up as a friend. They'll get our e-blasts, and we would be glad to have them at any events. Also, ITE International is trying to encourage more planning professionals to join. And so if you have any colleagues that are planning professionals that have maybe never gotten involved in ITE or don't really know what it is, they can actually join International for free next year. So it's at no cost to them. They can join for the whole year. They can have member prices at all of our events. And then if they like it, they can join International the next year for half off. And so be sure to tell any of your colleagues that are planners to take advantage of that opportunity. We had a ton of events this year. We had 10 monthly meetings. And so it was exciting to have all those back in person. They kind of started off slow at the beginning of the year, but towards the end of the year, we were averaging over 100 people signing up for the meetings. And so that's pretty cool. We had 2 conferences, Winter Workshop and Summer Seminar. Both of these were held in a hybrid environment, and so that was good to allow people to participate both in person and virtually. We had our technical exchange in Chattanooga. That was in November. And then this year was the year that we held our mentorship program, and so you're going to see the graduations from that here in just a little bit. We also had a bunch of other events. We had our safety and ops training event, which was our first annual Grand Prix event. So we're hoping to have that in other years as well. Our golf tournament was actually scheduled but canceled because of bad weather. So if you didn't get to participate in that, don't worry, you haven't missed it. It'll be coming up early next year. We held our traffic bowl. So the Georgia Tech team participated at traffic bowl at the Southern District meeting in March. And then they also won again at our section traffic bowl competition in November. And so they will be competing in Savannah next year and representing the Georgia section. And additionally, we also held our past president's luncheon. So a little bit more. So Winter Workshop, we had 198 attendees, and Summer Seminar, we had over 349 attendees. This included both attendees and guests, and so family members as well. We attended the SDITE annual meeting, and we won second place for the best section in 2021. And additionally, our own Jody Peace won the Private Sector Outstanding Service Award. So now I'm just going to give a quick overview of the 2022 presidential initiatives. The first one that I had was to focus on safety. As you know, with the pandemic, when the volumes went down, the fatalities did not go down. And so we wanted to make sure that we were keeping our focus on what we're all working towards, which is safety, lowering the number of deaths and serious injuries on our roadways. And so to further that objective, we started including safety moments in our e-blasts and at monthly meetings. And you'll continue to see those. We had the creation of the Roundabout Subcommittee as part of the Safety Committee, and that was the first subcommittee that the Safety Committee's ever had. So that was a pretty big thing. And then additionally, we had our operational and safety training event, and you can see the picture from that there. Our second objective was to engage with our student chapters. We held 2 monthly meetings with Georgia Tech in April and then with KSU in September. We sponsored 2 scholarships for students to attend Summer Seminar, and this is something that we've done in the past, but we had kind of dropped it just with the pandemic and everything going on. We hadn't done it in a while, and so that was something new this year. We held Traffic Bowl, and then we're also going to be giving out academic scholarships to some of our students here in just a little bit. As far as engaging our members, we really wanted to come back with our social committee. We had in-person social events at Top Golf, Monday Night Brewing, and we had a tailgate with ITS Georgia. We also held a remote meeting in Macon for the October meeting to allow some of our members that aren't in the Atlanta area a chance to get together and network with each other. And then we provided public sector coupons for the monthly meetings to encourage participation of our public sector members. And then our fourth initiative was just thriving in the new normal and how things have changed after the pandemic. So one thing, and something that you may have noticed at the beginning of the meeting, we invested in AV equipment so that we could live stream all of our meetings. And so all of our meetings are up on the website. If you can't make it to a meeting, you can log on and watch it on YouTube. It helps our members that are outside of the Atlanta area and maybe can't attend as often. They can still be involved. We held hybrid options for winter workshop and summer seminar. And we also filmed all the sessions for summer seminar and put them on our YouTube channel. And just an example of how successful that's been, the summer seminar young member session had over 1,900 views on YouTube. And so that really helped us to be able to see, you know, what kinds of topics our members are interested in, because we can see that that was a very popular session, and we can, you know, kind of gear our sessions to, you know, focus on the interests of our members. But additionally, we have other statistics that we can get. And so there were some other sessions that were getting some good views on YouTube. And so that's been very helpful for us. And I would be remiss if I didn't take a minute to thank all of our 2022 section committee chairs. We couldn't do half of what we do without you guys. And so I really appreciate you guys for serving this year and for doing a wonderful job. And I would encourage anybody out here that's not had a chance to be involved in a committee, that maybe is new or, you know, just hasn't gotten to that level yet. You know, look at this list and talk to these people and see how you can get involved. You know, it takes a lot of people to do what we do, and nobody has a lot of time, but everybody has just a little bit of time. And so see where you can maybe plug in and use that time to better yourself and better Georgia ITE. And then we also have the other list. We had so many that I couldn't fit them all on one sheet. So, all right. And then I just wanted to thank everybody for the support that you've given me this year as the 2022 president. I really appreciate it. I think we had a great year, and I know that you guys will support Robinson next year as our 2023 president. So thank you. And now Sam Harris is going to come up and give our financial review.
Hey everybody. So I'll be pretty quick with this, but overall the section is doing rather well when it comes to a financial standpoint. The beginning balance of the beginning of the year was just a little over 156K. And then the total income up until the end of November was a little north of 183K, with the total ending balance being around 127. The projected remaining amount of income for the 2022 calendar year is almost 2,000, with the projected remaining 2022 expense a little north of 8,000. So that puts us a total projected balance at the end of the year of a little over 121K. And for the scholarship fund balance before we do today's awards is a little north of 200K. And that's as much time as they give me to talk today. So I'll pass it back on to Chris. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Sam and Christina. We couldn't have had such a great year with both of y'all's service, and we look forward to y'all continuing to help next year, hopefully. All right. This year, as y'all know, we alternate every year between our leadership program and our mentorship program. This year, we had a very successful mentorship program that was chaired by Tomei Seaver. We're keeping y'all guessing all the time right here. And so be prepared to see a man that y'all think y'all know. Tom?
Good afternoon. I had the distinct pleasure this year of being the chair of the mentorship committee. I had great help from Bing Zhang, Madison Dormany, and Elizabeth Shin. I couldn't have got it done without them, so I want to thank them. And then we had a great group of proteges and mentors. So I'd like the proteges, as I call your name, to please come forward and receive your plaques. Rahu Paswala. Laura Nesbitt, Olivia Zuvanich, Andrew Lewis, Caitlin Stewart, and then our last protege was Mohawk Montree, but he is unable to be here because he's out of the country for his sister's wedding. So again, a great group, and our mentors were, and I'm going to do this off the top of my head, so I apologize. Kristen Westcott, Sue Ann Decker, Dan Dobry, Paul Sloan, Dwayne Tedder, and there's one more. Crap. Tom Udell. Thank you. See, my committee still helping me to the end. So, thank y'all.
Wonderful. Well, we look forward to seeing how the 2022 mentorship class continues to stay involved in Georgia ITE, and we hope to see them grow and stand up here one day and bore y'all with my presentation. So next, Andrew Lewis was kind enough to spearhead our scholarship committee for this year. He's done a wonderful job, and so we're going to allow him to come up here and give a little overview of the program and announce the scholarship winners for this year.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Chris. All right, I'm going to take my sweet time going through this. But I'm Andrew. I'm the scholarship chair this year. It's been my distinct pleasure to work with our scholarship committee, of whom we have a good number of people working on, and they've all been extremely helpful. This year, we added to those funds that you saw there by doing the silent auction at the summer seminar, which was able to bring in a good chunk of money, and we had a number of excellent students who applied for our scholarship this year and got to get together just a few weeks ago and go through them and pick the winners, which is, the most exciting part here, and so we're glad to go through. Just an overview of our scholarship program. This began in 1986. Since then, as of last year, not including today's recipients, we have given out 100 scholarships totaling $228,500. You can see since 2010 how many has come in from that. We're very proud of our scholarship program. All of these that have received our scholarships, about 85% have stayed in the transportation industry as they've gone throughout their careers, all the way, like I said, since 1986, with around half of them staying within the state of Georgia, working within transportation. So we're very excited with everything that we've done with the scholarship program and grateful to everybody who supports the program, who's donated to the scholarship fund, who's given their time on the committee to review and help us pick our scholarship winners. So we have a few of them today, and we're excited to go through and congratulate them. So our first recipient who is unable to be with us here today is Nishu Chowdhury. She's a graduate student at Georgia Tech in transportation engineering. Her research focus is developing data-driven system-level solutions to address traffic flow issues. And so she was awarded $2,000 this year. Next, we have Shane Henry. Shane is an undergraduate student at Georgia Southern University. He's also not able to be with us today, but he is, upon his graduation, you can see at the end of next year, he's planning on pursuing a career in roadway design and focusing on safety, trying to improve safety in coastal Georgia, where he calls home. So next, and I'm glad that our next four, I think, are able to be here today. I didn't see a couple of them, but maybe they're hiding somewhere in the room. We have Alvin Chen. Alvin, are you here? Great. Go ahead and come up. So Alvin is also an undergraduate student at Georgia Tech. He is concentrating in transportation and urban planning, and he's interested in a career where he can influence transportation planning. So I am proud today to award Alvin a very inauthentic check for $4,000, which you can supplement with a real one here. And if you'll hang out right there, and we'll do a picture and stay, and we'll do pictures with everybody that's here. So congratulations to Alvin. So our next award is going to William Morgan. William Morgan is a master's student at Georgia Tech. He's currently the president of the ITE student chapter, and he said that he's passionate about fixing traffic. So William is coming up here. Again, I should keep all of these up here so we can hang on to that as well. Our next award recipient is Anchi Wei. Anchi is a third-year PhD student at Georgia Tech. Her research is focused on using drone measurement techniques to innovate operational and safety data collection. So Anchi is on her way up here. Congratulations, Anchi. And so our last award is a little bit different. So we have a special award which we have dedicated to John D. Edwards. John D. Edwards was a founding member of ITE, and he was the first president of the Georgia section of ITE. He had an incredibly distinguished career. I'm sure many others could come here and speak to the work that he did just in promoting transportation, promoting and developing this group that we're all privileged to be a part of. And in particular, he was very dedicated to service, to mentorship, to technical excellence, and doing the best work that we're capable of doing. And so every year we like to award, one student who is especially outstanding and again devoted to those principles of incredible service, technical excellence, mentorship, and scholarship in academia as well. And so I'm very excited to announce this year's winner. He is a, let me find where I am on my sheet. So he is a master's student at Georgia Tech. He is the treasurer of ITE, as well as being involved as the president of ITS at Georgia Tech, being involved in ASCE, being a mentor with the Smart Cities VIP program. He has his own YouTube channel, which he calls Safer Roads Bangladesh, where he is sharing technical knowledge and getting that out in the world, and has been writing transportation-related articles in national newspapers back in his home country for 10 years now. He's very passionate about transportation. He has a lot of passion for improving safety, improving quality of life throughout the world, and in passing this knowledge on to future generations. So please join me in congratulating Tamid Maula. Come up here, who is our John D. Edwards Award recipient. So I've got a nice check here for $7,500. And this one you can actually take to the bank. And I think that's it. So I'll pass it back to Chris, and we'll do pictures. So another round of applause for all of our scholarship winners.
Everyone, a quick breather. While they're go ahead and getting those photos, I'll go ahead and just say it's been my pleasure as the immediate past president to get to serve on the awards and nominations committee as the chair. So I got to work with a lot of great members within our organization to help identify and decide, along with the nominations that came from within our membership, who are deserving of the awards this year. And it's always been very competitive, and we appreciate all of the input that we get from the community. And honestly, you make this job really tough. So I'm glad that I'm not doing it again next year. And Christina's going to get to figure this out. So with that being said, we're going to get started first with the Georgia Section Agency Award, and then we're going to move into the individual awards. So for this year, the award is presented to an agency which has distinguished itself through improvements in the field of transportation to recognize governmental or quasi-governmental agencies which have made significant transportation improvements in their area of jurisdiction. This year's ITE Agency Achievement Award goes to Paulding County Department of Transportation. I told y'all, pay attention. We're going to have a lot of surprises today. That's how on fire they are in Paulding County. I have no good fire jokes. There you go. Okay. All right. I take it we'll go ahead and get back on track with the agenda then. So I was either bombing that hard that the fire alarm went off, or that's the plot of the great 2023 ITE election rigging, the plot that you didn't see coming. Luckily, only I know who has the results in this audience. So I think they'll be safe. All right, so basically, Paulding County, congratulations. They've done a lot of great work in their county. They're looking forward to the future and planning on all of the development and growth going on. A lot of that involves the expansion of their existing traffic network with their fiber and ATMS system, and their opening of their new traffic control center this past year. So congratulations, Paulding County. Next is a very special award named after one of our very impressive members, Marsha Anderson Bomar, and she'll be up here to announce this year's winner.
So the joys of getting old and having a lot of white hair. I do want to thank those who were involved in renaming this award. It continues to just amaze me every year that you thought highly enough of what I've been able to contribute to honor me in this way. So please know that it still resonates so much with me. This award is intended to go to a young member who has not only done great and amazing things in their young professional career, but who at the same time has contributed very significantly to the Georgia section and ITE as a whole. Now you have to wait for the answer, right? Chris, do you want to check to see if we actually have to go again? They're shaking their heads no in the hallway. The suspense is killing us, right? Are we okay? All right, we're okay. I was gonna say it's my magnetic personality, but I don't know. Anyway, so drum roll, please. This year's award winner is Bing Zhang. And I am so excited because we had the chance to meet back when you were a student.
Yeah.
So very, very excited. Very excited. And let me tell you a little bit about just at the high level why Bing is receiving this award. So she graduated from the University of Virginia and then came to Georgia Tech for her graduate work, and has been working with Kimley Horn for about the last 8 years, serving as the Southwest SIGOPS manager. And that's a huge accomplishment for somebody early in their career to be given that opportunity and to be successful doing that. In addition to that, she has been giving to ITE since her graduate student days. I'm not going to give you the whole long list, but as you heard earlier, she's been involved with Summer Seminar for quite some time, now rising to being the chair of Summer Seminar, which is a huge big deal for any of you who have not worked on Summer Seminar. It's like a second job in a very good way, But she's also been involved in a lot of other programs and has been active in the mentorship program as well. Very excited for all you've contributed. I know that this is the beginning of a very long and very storied relationship that you have with the transportation community and with ITE. So thank you for all you do.
Congratulations, Bing. Very well deserved. The next award that we have today will hopefully go uninterrupted, and also is the John D. Edwards Jr. Individual Achievement Award. This award is presented to a Georgia section member who has unselfishly given his or her time and talents to the advancement of the Georgia section during the previous 12 months. This award was named in honor of John D. Edwards, the first president of the Georgia section of ITE and international president of 1985. The recipient of this year's Individual Achievement Award is someone who has shown their dedication to Georgia ITE over the last year and, frankly, over the last several years. This individual has shown their commitment in many ways from technical programming to the advancement of many events such as Winter Workshop, Summer Seminar, and the Joint Technical Exchanges. Through his involvement in Georgia ITE, he has helped the organization stay relevant through increasing our technical focus and technology in carrying out ITE's mission of promoting professional development of its members, supporting and encouraging education, and stimulating research. This year's winner is Joe Gillis. Congratulations, Joe. So, Joe is the Transportation Engineering Project Manager with AECOM. In his role, he's assisting with the delivery of the Southern Georgia Region TIA program, the TIA program, and he is also the Georgia ITE Technical Chair, which he has served in this position for many years. So congratulations, Joe. Thank you very much. Well, that was one smooth one. The next one is the Carl Bevins Distinguished Service Award. This award is presented to someone who has demonstrated the qualities of competence, professionalism, and dedication in the field of traffic and/or transportation exemplified by Carl Bevins as the first traffic operations engineer in Georgia. His 44-year career began upon graduation, where he moved to Jackson, Mississippi, and worked from 1978 to 1986. During that tenure, he moved in preparation for the 1984 New Orleans World Fair. He began his ITE career as a member of Deep South and made several technical presentations as a member of the division. One of his first presentations was titled "Soap is So Much More Than an Opera." In 1985, the recipient was elected Secretary-Treasurer of the Deep South, which he served as Vice President of the division until he moved to Atlanta in 1986. Upon arriving in Atlanta, he worked on the Olympic travel information kiosks and electronic signage that was introduced in Atlanta for the 1996 Olympics, and eventually went on to create his own consulting firm. This year's recipient of the Carl Bevins Distinguished Service Award is Jim Pullman. And it's really a Lifetime Service Distinguished Award for Jim. Because he has given so much to the traffic engineering industry here in Atlanta since his time, and also to Georgia ITE. As many of y'all may know, Jim is known as the guy around here, particularly when it comes to money. Without him, we'd all probably be indebted in a different way, beyond just to his service that he's provided us. He has served as a comptroller for the organization for over a decade. The past 10 years, he's been there to help keep us in line and guide us and make sure that we stay financially sound and in a good place. And it's with a heavy heart that we say that he's turning down that role following this year, and it'll be going over to Kelly Patrick. So we just want to say, Jim, thank you so much for everything that you've done for this organization. Thank you. One more award for this year, and that is going to be the ITE Transportation Professional of the Year. This award is presented to a transportation professional who has contributed substantially to the safe and efficient movement of people or goods in Georgia. The intent is to recognize individuals who have made significant contributions to the transportation field for a number of years. The recipient of this year's Transportation Professional of the Year award is someone who is no stranger to many of us within the transportation profession. He is someone who has not only contributed directly to the safe and efficient movement of people and goods throughout Georgia, but has also pushed the boundaries and encouraged our industry to think outside the box. A 15-year public servant, this year's winner has spent the last several years of his career leading the GDOT Office of Traffic Operations. Prior to that, he served in various capacities in the Office of Planning and working in the Office of the Chief Engineer. This year's recipient, also known as the fastest man in Georgia ITE, is Mr. Andrew Heath. Well, it's a good thing he's so fast, because I know he's pretty booked up with a lot of things these days.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See, Christine. So, Andrew is a graduate of Auburn University and is now serving as Deputy Chief Engineer overseeing the Division of Engineering, Division of Intermodal, and Division of Permits and Operations. So thank you very much, Andrew. There's one more award that we present each year, and that is to our president to recognize their service for the last few years on the board, which we all know is really more than just a few years. While the past year has been busy putting all the pieces of Georgia ITE back together to get us back to where we were a few years ago, Christina has done a great job of leading this organization and getting us back to a wonderful point, similar to where we were before and even better. So I want to have all of y'all help me in thanking Christina for her service to the board.
Okay, so actually there is one more award. So every year the president has the opportunity to give one special recognition award to a member who has made great contributions to the Georgia section. This year's special award goes to someone who is often working behind the scenes, and the recipient of this year's special presidential award is Paul Sloan. As chair of the Marketing and Communications Committee, as well as our AV guru, Paul has kept us live streaming through the pandemic. This year, the board voted to invest in AV equipment to greatly enhance the remote attendance experience for our members. Paul took the lead role in this effort, creating a proposal and diagrams for board approval. Every venue is different and has its own challenges. Paul works tirelessly at every meeting to make sure our live stream experience is high quality, regardless of the situation. Paul also maintains our YouTube channel, and having the additional video content from our meetings and conferences has allowed us to be more responsive to the interests of our membership, as Paul provides statistics on the videos so we can see which topics are getting the most views and viewing time. So thank you, Paul.
Thank y'all very much. Give it one more round of applause for all of our award winners. Very good. Thank you all so much for your involvement. So one of my last duties as immediate past president is to announce and swear in the elected board. And while we all think that that fire alarm was just a ruse to rig the election, luckily we have one secret ballot holder here that knows really who has the winning votes. So we're going to go ahead and announce our 2023 board. Can I please have the envelope? My mistress. Oh, there it is. Sealed, secured. Don't have to worry about it. So in 2023, our president will be Robinson Nichol. He was running a very tough race. Make sure it hadn't got stuffed since we all went outside there. That was still good. Our vice president will be Sam Harris. And to keep all of this under wraps, they're not listed here, but we have the information. Our secretary treasurer will be Christy John, so congratulations, Christy. Our district representative will be Chala Banja. Congratulations, Chala. And our board member at large position will go to Bill Rusum. So congratulations, Bill. Continuing to serve on the board will be our immediate past president following this meeting, Christina Barry, and our district representative, Kelly Patrick, who will continue to serve as the senior advisor for that group, along with other members of the board, including Dwayne Tedder as the past president elect member. So now with that, I'd like to ask all of the 2023 board members to please come forward for the swearing in. Now, if you would each of you please raise your right hand and respond with "I will" after each charge of office. In accepting the office you have been elected in the Institute of Transportation Engineers, you will discharge to the best of your ability the duties of that office. Will you uphold the professional standing, honor, and dignity of the Institute at all times by example and precept? Will you be governed by the Institute's Constitution and by the policies, rules, and procedures established by the Board of Directors? And will you work diligently and faithfully for the advancement and betterment of the Institute and its members? Well, congratulations. Can we get a big round of applause for our... Y'all stay up there one more time. And now I politely ask the audience to stand up again one more time. I know this is more than we were expecting. I'm going to ask all of y'all to please help swear in the board as well by asking y'all to help hold them accountable as the representatives to serve y'all and the section of Georgia. Would you please raise your right hand and confirm with "I will" after the following statement? Having chosen these officers as your leaders for the coming year, will you carry out your obligation to support and assist them in achieving the Institute's goals? Wonderful. Thank you so much. Congratulations. And with that, we will now have the ceremonial, well, I'll get a picture real quick, and then we'll have the ceremonial gavel passing from Christina to Robinson.
Well, thank you, everybody. Sorry. Can you hear me? Okay. I can't hear the sound of my own voice, so, I just want to make sure. Sorry, I'm trying to make Chris feel a little better for all his bad jokes. Yeah, I wanted to talk about the 2023 goals and objectives, and kind of some things that we talked about on the board and just, moving forward post-pandemic. There's quite a bit of, new challenges. So a little bit about me. I'm a Georgia Tech grad. I work at Atlas leading the traffic group. Served in ICE since 2016. On the technical committee, summer seminar, and most recently as a board member. I'm married to my wonderful wife, Beth. Have 3 kids right now, Parker, Grace, and Matthew. I wanted to include this picture from the teams meeting we had for the summer seminar 2020. Bill, yeah, that was a crazy year. I can't believe we had all that, but hopefully our first one and only ever virtual, completely virtual seminar. So, and then just a few other pictures of me with my family going to tech games, and also you can probably see a little Auburn logo in there as well. So that's where my wife went. We're kind of equally family divided there. So the first initiative I really wanted to talk about was the fact that Georgia ITE is turning 60. The anniversary is next year, and you probably heard the name John Edwards a few times today. He was the first president back in 1963, and really with him and just a very strong history of leadership, this organization has been a huge success well before a lot of us were even born. So I really want to highlight that next year. We've got the leadership program coming up for next year, and also Jody mentioned the Southern District meeting coming to Savannah in March. And so we really have an opportunity as the host state to showcase, what we do, and have a lot of past awards for the section with winning best section of the district. And so, it's a really good opportunity for us to showcase that and, just continue to move that leadership forward. Other than that, if anybody wants to make this cake with the multi-lane signalized roundabout, I think Scott Zingraff would be very happy, and so would I. So, yeah. The next initiative I want to talk about, this is something that's really been on my mind a lot lately, particularly with the pandemic, kind of creating a splash in the market for, really a lot of businesses and industries. I think we're not alone in this, but I think that certainly over the past year, just as we've come back together in person as an organization within ITE, I've seen it as well, but there's a lot of things that are disconnected. And, you know, if you look at this graph, we're engineers, I like data. There's a whole generation of baby boomers that are really a lot of the current leadership in our industry, and they're retiring. You know, this thing is called the boomer bubble, and you know, if there's a disconnect and a lot of the leaders retire off without the next, you know, generation of next future leaders coming up, without that, you know, getting that handoff done right, it's something that's going to affect all of us. So, you know, individually, in businesses, agencies as well. I've heard a lot of people talking about this, and I really think as ITE, we're in a unique position that we can help to kind of foster this, you know, throughout the organization. And particularly, I've got their panels at conferences and training events. So Christina mentioned before about that young member panel at Summer Seminar. I can't even begin to tell you how impactful that was. Like, I think that hit something that I think is really what I'm trying to get at here, of, you know, that disconnect. And like, you know, there's a lot of interest in what the next generation is really interested, you know, like what they're thinking and kind of what's important to them, you know, not just from a technical standpoint, but from a working standpoint, a, you know, balance, quality of life. If we're not in the office together, if we're all meeting through Teams and things like that, you're just not getting that. So, you know, I might be giving a little bit of thunder here, but we're going to be planning some more events like that, especially at Winter Workshop coming up and another one at Summer Seminar. Training events, particularly the K1 go-kart event. Sam did a great job with that, putting all that together. The safety committee hosted that. It was a huge success. We had a lot of people, more than, you know, capacity, interested in coming, and it's just a great example of what IT does great, which is, you know, bringing people together, multi, you know, generational, different types of disciplines and things like that, to have fun, network, but also to have, you know, actual benefit from it, from the training. So we're going to see more of those types of events probably for the next few years. One big thing here too is establishing a young member committee. So the idea with this is to kind of give like an orientation to the industry. You know, people coming out of school, you know, may know technically what they're supposed to do, but not exactly all the kind of ins and outs of the industry. And this is really, you know, something new that we talked about. You know, just to establish, you know, what kind of things do I need to think about when I'm just coming into the industry, and what would be a good, you know, direction to go. What's the career path, you know? So I think, you know, again, ITE can do that really well. And this last point, I'm really excited about this. So again, coming back to the 60-year anniversary, each monthly meeting, we're going to have a highlight for each past president. But the way we're going to do it, I think, is have like each decade kind of represented, you know, and I'm going to collect some, you know, quotes, like anecdotes from all the past presidents, and just share that, you know, with the membership, and you know, highlight, you know, what was important to them, because sometimes it's still important today, you know, even though it's a much different world today. And lastly, continue to thrive in the new normal. Christina did a great job this year, getting us back to in-person, getting us back, you know, to what is the new normal. And, you know, I want to continue to grow on that. We had increased attendance. It was a little bit, you know, lower than normal at first, but by about March or April, we had pretty close to normal attendance. And these last few meetings have been more than normal. So we're going to continue to grow that. We're going to grow our membership. The GPA, the planner membership is free next year. There's flyers on the table. Everybody that works with planners, you know, let them know. We do have a joint meeting with GPA, Georgia Planning Association, at least once a year. Honestly, we had, I think, 4 or 5 planners at that this year. We can do a lot better than that, you know, and I think that we can get, you know, connected more. There's a lot of overlap with planning and traffic and transportation engineering. So I think that's a really good opportunity for us there. And also engineering outreach, social activities, I want to see those increase, you know, now that we can actually be back in person, you know, get back to the outreach, the STEM events, the, you know, volunteering events. In fact, there's one coming up in the next week. I want to see some more of those coming up this year as well. And then there you go, upcoming events. So next Thursday, we have a webinar hosted at the TMC. Joe Gillis can mention this. Connected autonomous vehicles, anyone interested in that? I think there was a e-blast that went out this morning for that. A volunteering event at the Atlanta Food Bank on Saturday, December 17th. It's the weekend, but it's still a great opportunity, I think, to do an event together. And this time of year certainly is needed. Winter workshop coming up in March. It's in Augusta this coming year. We just signed the contract for that. Zhang is the chair for that. Been seeing a lot of good things come together for that. The ITE, Southern District ITE annual meeting in Savannah that Jody mentioned is in March 19th through 22nd, and then summer seminar back in St. Simon in July. So the committee chairs for next year is pretty much the same as what Christina had showed before. I've highlighted a couple of the new members. So I just, if you don't mind, as I mention your name, if you would just stand up and kind of wave to everybody. Madison Dormany, if she's here, will be helping out with the activities committee this next year as a co-chair with Nate. For the host committee, Jared Allen is going to be taking over for Harrison Forder. Harrison did a great job this past year and is handing that off. Tyler Martin, if he's here, will be the co-chair for the technical committee with Joe Gillis after this coming year. And then Brianna Boland is going to take over. Madison had been filling that role as the student chapter liaison coordinator, but Brianna will be taking over that, and Ron will fill in as the Georgia Tech liaison. The 2023 leadership program, Caitlin Stewart and Olivia Zivanich will be co-chairing that as well. Really looking forward to seeing what they come up with. And Alex Simmons with the summer seminar. So with that, it's a traffic signal Christmas tree. Merry Christmas. Meeting adjourned.